The All Progressive Governors Forum paid a visit to ex-President Muhammadu Buhari at his residence in Kaduna State. The All Progressive Congress APC governors paid a courtesy visit amid the defection of some of Buhari's loyalists from the APC to the Social Democratic Party, SDP. And to have this conversation, we have our Zoom guest Vincent Oghenekevwe Okoro to talk about the APC governor's visit to Buhari after El-Rufai defection. Good evening, Vincent.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, Vincent. Joe, what do you
Good
think
evening.
about, just an overview of what you think about El-Rufai's defection from APC to the other party?
Wow. El-Rufai defection from APC to other party, that SDP, as a matter of fact. First and foremost, I don't know if you have introduced me. I believe you have introduced me. So I'm Vincent Okoro. So I'm happy to be on with you again. Well, El-Rufai is a Nigerian. El-Rufai is a Nigerian that enjoy freedom as it were, freedom of expression, freedom of movement, freedom of association in this case. And then above all, El-Rufai is a politician. El-Rufai is a Nigerian politician. So looking at how the typical Nigerian politician is in terms of their behavior, their configuration, then it should not be a surprise to anyone that El-Rufai has found himself in the SDP today. Now, what anybody would be asking or should be asking is why SDP and not any other political party? Especially why not the immediate or the most potent opposition party in Nigeria as it were? Though yes, there can be a debate between the Labour Party and the PDP, which one that can be seen as a more potent opposition. Why I raise that comparison is on the ground that, on the surface, one can say that Labour Party has a more appeal more to the public, than the PDP that has been like a platform of torment, for Nigerians since 1999. So we'll now be looking at it that why not Labour Party or PDP, why SDP? So that is what I think would be in the lips of anyone, instead of saying why the camp, from the APC to the SDP. Rather, why SDP and not any other political party? So to me, what the former governor of Kaduna State and former minister of the FCT, has done is expected, especially looking at how apparently there is some dissatisfaction that is not being carried along as far the scheme of things are in the current administration of President Bola Tinubu. So once a politician is not carried along, what his wishes are not being actualized, the next thing is to jump ship, and then maybe stand to become an opposition, a credible opposition force, to the current government in power.
Mr. Vincent, do you think El-Rufai leaving APC would actually affect the party as a whole? Do you think this defection will affect APC as a whole?
Yes, the question is not whether it's going to affect. I think we should rather be looking at the extent of that effect, and it can be for good, it can be for bad. We have had many times where you hear that somebody is a party member, but the person is a mole. So is APC going to be better off having an El-Rufai in their folds? Is APC going to be worse off not having an El-Rufai in their fold? So that is where the question has. So it's not an issue of whether it's going to affect the fortunes of APC. We should be looking at whether such effect is going to be positive or negative. So if you are going to have someone who can be regarded or can be seen as a pain in your house, sometimes it may be better off doing away with such a person. So in this case now, he decided to live on his own to SDP. And if you ask me, the character of the person of El-Rufai, it may be a call for joy, for some players in the APC, because before it defected, the media have been awash either week in week out, making a lot of comments about his own about an administration that is a product of his own political party, making uh, comments that can be regarded to be unguarded, be regarded as a negative review about the current administration. So I would say that overall, it may even be better off not having an El-Rufai in the APC than having him, where he will now become a direct.
El-Rufai is someone that has been in APC for so long, and now that he is not there, do you think this would pose as a sort of threat, knowing the parties in and out, knowing so many things that are going on in the party, the strategies and the rest of it, and taking it to a different party? Don't you think this is like a cause for alarm or some sort of it?
Okay, so first and foremost, El-Rufai is an influential politician. He's an influential personality. I think in his own the geographical space of the north, he has a very large followership. Where if he decides to sneeze today, a lot of persons, and players in that landscape will catch cold. If not Nigeria as a whole. So there's no way if the fresh movement away from the APC will not affect the fortune of the party in one way or the other. But what we should be looking at, or what is debatable, is the extent to which is leaving the party is going to affect the extent to which is going to affect the fortunes of the party. Now the other thing is this, there's something about having an in-house enemy. Now, for instance, we always talk about somebody, a politician, being a mole in a political party. Now, so the question will now be, will it be better off having somebody who is going to be a pain in the ass as far as the leadership of APC is concerned, by having an El-Rufai to be their member, or it will be better off for him to take whatever he knows about the APC to another political party, and whatever he decides to do with it is his business. Now, before he officially announces defection, you know, you call that he has been made, there have been a lot of press release from him. His fashion with the current has been a concern for both the APC and the public, and then finally he has moved. So now that he has moved, to me, it's for the APC to mitigate whatever effect that is leaving the party will likely have on them, and then it should be, it could even be a welcome development that we don't have the character of an El-Rufai in the APC, because if he is not satisfied with the current administration and the current leadership structure of the APC, where apparently he is not being carried along, then it may be better off for the party for him to leave, to another political party. So if you ask me, I would say that the El-Rufai, or an El-Rufai leaving the APC, is somewhat a welcome development for that political party and even for the administration at the center as far as the leadership of Nigeria is concerned.
Okay, the governors had visited the former president Buhari. What would you make of this particular visit? I mean, it was a closed-door visit.
Okay, so after they emerged from the closed-door visit and all the visit they did, and then we had the progressive government, the chairman of the so-called progressive, I'm sorry for using that word so-called, progressive governors forum, being the person of Hope Uzodinma, telling us that he went to see the former president, that is their father, is the that they came to make him understand that the party he helped them to build is now stronger than ever. It's the biggest political party in Africa and stuff. To me, such visits are more or less academic exercise, and then maybe to paint the APC good in the eyes of the public and maybe the international community as far as the Africa space is concerned. Because we heard him saying that the APC is the strongest and largest party in the whole of Africa. So to me, that visit is more or less an academic exercise. Now, even before the former president, when the former president was in power, how much effect can we say he had as far as the fortunes of the APC is concerned? Then this is a man that, how old now? That should be resting. Then you want us to start thinking maybe your visit to him is going to improve the fortune of the APC. Well, I don't think that is the case. So in as much as a father figure, then if he makes certain inputs, they are bound to listen to him. But that visit to me does not have any much value, for one to say, okay, for them to have visited the former president, then the fortunes of the APC is going to greatly improve, especially heading to 2027. So, if that is what they decided to do, it's fine and good for them. But on the larger scale, I don't think that is something of note. So that is how I see it.
Okay, Victor, what steps do you think APC can take to, mitigate the risk of further defection from their party to other parties? I mean, the election is just 2027, in order to just, curb this issue of defection that is happening.
Okay, now, first and foremost, the Nigerian political space is one that can easily be predicted. Looking at the whole landscape, you begin to look at certain persons and from certain places who will likely not to be faithful as far as their membership of the APC is concerned. To the point that whatever steps that the APC leadership decide to take may not change anything. Now, if you are talking about the step that they need to take, I think the best they can do is to offer purposeful leadership via the current administration for the generality of Nigeria. Because by the time, if talking about the steps that the APC as a political party, the steps they need to take in order to avert further defection, that may likely weaken their chances towards 2027 and beyond.
Yes.
So I was saying that, all they need to do is to ensure that every member of their party is carried along, and then it is not possible for you to meet the need and yearning of every member of the society. So all you can do is to do your best to see that people have that freedom. People are not sidelined, in the scheme of things, and then they have that freedom to express themselves, and therefore them to also aspire, for whatever is their own interest as far as the party is concerned. So if the APC don't want further defection, that I think is all they need to do, so that we will not have many El-Rufai, leaving the party, and then at the end of the day, ending up weakening the fortunes of the party. So if the APC does not want people performing El-Rufai, their members performing an El-Rufai, all they should do is to make sure they provide an egalitarian platform, where every member will feel equally treated. So that is what I think they should do.
Okay, Vincent, thank you for that input. But you can't, just like you said, you can't meet up with everybody's needs as well. But do you think that this situation is reflecting a broader trend of political alignment and realignment within Nigerian politics?
Let me get you again.
Do you think that, how does this situation rather reflect the broader trends of political alignment and realignment within the Nigerian politics?
Yes, of course, whenever there is a defection, that is automatically the next thing because nature does not above a vacuum. Now, an El-Rufai leaving the APC automatically leaves a very big vacuum to be filled, especially when you are looking at Kaduna being its own primary constituency where it comes from. Because prior to this time, he is practically the leader of APC in that state. So having left, then it means that automatically the governor of that state now becomes the undisputed leader, and he has to step up. Then in stepping up, it creates a different vacuum entirely. Then both the leadership of APC in national and the state Kaduna, vacuum has been created. So what happens now is that there are some persons who will now see opportunities, in the vacancy created by El-Rufai. And then the next year you may likely hear is that some persons are defecting to the APC, either as having a national face or at the state level. So, and then that is where the alignment and the realignment comes in. And then the issue of alignment and realignment is one that will continue till, the eve of 2027 election. So we are going to we'll continue to see things like this, especially in the APC, because given that being that is the ruling party, a lot of persons are that to see how they can get themselves fixed, so that they can be among those only the short, or they will be looking at, okay, could there be a possibility of another party that will be able to withstand the APC come 2027? So in that case, you are going to see a lot of political position that will actually lead to the alignment that we are talking about.
Speaking of the 2027 forthcoming elections and the whole inter-party crisis that has been going on, even with Labour Party, you see the case of Abure and Upitobi and Governor Oti, and now in APC, you're seeing El-Rufai defected to the other party. I mean, what do you think would be the fate of the 2027 election?
Yeah, 2027 election, we know it's not going to fail, to deliver on the drama, on expected drama, just the same way we have in 2024, in 2023, where a lot of persons were achieved for certain positions. At the end of the day, the aspirations are not met. They have to start defecting and so on and so forth. I think it's the same thing we are still going to see. Like the other day we had in the news that both Atiku, Peter Obi and some other political players are about leaving their respective party, to form alliance, So we are going to, now by 2027, we are going to see a lot of outcome, that will more or less not be a surprise to Nigerians anyway, because we are used to this type of drama in our political space among players in Nigeria already. So we should really brace up, for drama after drama, heading to 2027, and of course, El-Rufai, we can say, has set the ball rolling already.
Interesting. I mean, it's always amazing having conversations like this with you, Mr. Vincent, and we hope to always, have your attention whenever we need it on related topics. Do you have anything to say, maybe just in a nutshell, about this topic?
Yes. What I can say right now is that politics is a game of interest, and then it is not played in vacuum, it is played in society. And then that interest is expressed in leadership. Leadership to affect the life of the ordinary person. Leadership to affect the life of the commoner. So it is very, very important, a message to our leaders, for them to begin to understand that we don't have all the time to be in this world forever. It is very, very important that whatever they are doing, it should be first the interest of the masses before their own interest. Of course, that is what will even endear them to the public, in which it will become more possible for them to actualize their aspiration if they put the masses first, who will actually drum support for them for whatever they are doing and for whatever they say that they will do and for whatever action they are carrying out to actualize their aspiration. So leadership should be at the people, should be about the people, whether it is at the political party level or the leadership at various level of governance. It should be about the people, so that the kind of challenges that we are having, in which development continue to elude us, will not continue to be the case. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vincent.
Signature TV, news in your pocket.